We are in the back rooms of the house. Nah, just kidding. We're just in another room. How's it going, guys? Thunderbuddy01 here along with
KLX.
And we got a freaking old ass scanner here to review. Like,
Partly cloudy.
it's old that the button beeps sound like this, and the antenna looks like this, and there's no batteries on here. Like, there's literally no battery backup on this thing at all.
Nope.
So this will probably take you back to like the 90s, early 2000s maybe. But on this episode of Radio Reviews, we're going to be taking a look at the radio that literally sounds like the fat chick next door. No, just kidding. We're going to be taking a look at this old ass scanner that sounds like a cow. And
Bigger than a 12-1519 somehow.
yeah, and that would be the Uniden BC148XLT. Alright, so the Uniden BC148XLT. So I should mention that the backlight on this thing is dead. So you can't exactly see it unless you have a flashlight aiming right over it. And I don't know if it can be fixed, but
I think it can. It's just, it depends on like if the bulbs are like completely out or not. But the backlight normally is orange, kind of like, you know, the rest of Uniden radios with this kind of like black design, and just, yeah, it's kind of dusty.
yeah.
But sooner or later, I'm gonna be putting a blue backlight in it, so.
Yeah, blue on this thing would probably look a lot better than orange in my honest opinion. But as you can see, it looks pretty basic. You got a scanning mode on here. I'm gonna turn off this. I don't know if there's any.
You think they all switched to digital?
Probably, I'm not sure, but it's either that or there's just like nothing going on right now. But yeah, now that we're here, let's just go over some of the basic features first. And the first feature will be the button beeps and probably the siren test too. Okay, so the button beeps.
Low 60s. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Day, sunny in the morning, then partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers and thunder. Highs in the lower 80s. West winds.
Alright, so nothing really too special. I do not think there's any invalid button beeps at all. But yeah. Now, how do you do the siren test on this thing? This is something that I'm really curious about.
You hold WX and alert at the same time. It's fucking loud.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a cow. It's the cow radio.
Yeah. You can see why I said it sounds like a cow. Because it literally is one. Like. And unfortunately, you cannot change the volume on it, but it's like stuck at like 1 volume, and it's like loud.
Oh, you're back.
Jesus Christ.
Am I wrong? It sounds exactly like that fucking snore too.
But oh gosh, Michael's probably not gonna look at that meme the same way ever again after once he gets editing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that pretty much covers the button beep and the button beeps and the siren test. I don't think there's much else we could review because like there's like we can't do a service scan on this thing because that's how old this thing is. Like you just have to like I think you have to like just scan the frequencies you have programmed in and then just hope to God that something comes in, but I doubt that that'll work. Plus I don't know what I don't know some of the nearby frequencies are that are like digital or analog or whatever.
Antenna.
Okay, yeah, let's do the antenna next because my good God, this thing is a fucking disgrace.
The antenna on the BC148XLT is it's loose.
Yeah, it's loose and it has a stupid design on it too, if I'm honest. Like it has.
What is this?
Yeah.
Literally, it has like a weird hook design.
Yeah, if you could shine the flashlight over here so I can try and hold this. But yeah, it's like, see those little notches right there? Those pretty much hold the antenna in place. And if it slips out, it just commits antenna arthritis.
Yep. And it's so easy to like pull out and pull back in. It's like unreal. Like that.
It should not be like this. It really should not be this easy to like take out a whole fucking antenna. Like I can see why they did it, but like just no.
Yeah.
Not to mention how wobbly it is, even in a fixed position. It's like someone. Oh, it's one of those things that like screws in, but like it's like so wobbly. It's just like no. It's like it's floppier than it's.
Stop. But yeah, there's nothing really other interesting about the antenna besides the wobbliness, the weird design, like right by the base of it, and what looks to be a dome that's combined with like just a normal dome, and like the cupcake shape of the WX100 and 500. So
Yeah, there's like. Yeah, and it doesn't even telescope either. It's only tilting. So.
Yep, only tilting like the 70. No, not 74. The
BC78 or 120. There's a lot of older scanners that have this type of antenna.
12-240, 247, etc.
Oh yeah, those like generic weather radios too.
Yep. Alright, so the next feature that we will review on this cow thing is the speaker quality.
Okay, so the speaker quality on this thing. So
this is the volume thingy on it.
I just turned it off. Oops.
Yeah, that's how you turn it off. Kind of like older weather radios.
Ohio Valley region. A cold front will move through region today and be southeast of the area by this evening. A few showers are possible ahead of the front. High pressure builds in for the rest of the week, bringing near average temperatures to the area. Here are the 1 p.m. weather conditions.
Not terrible.
Not terrible, no, but not exactly the best either. Granted, this is an older scanner, but it does sound good. Like it sounds like it's held up its own, but
Not necessarily distorted in any way. It's just kind of loud sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when the volume is like all the way up. Unidens have kind of a like reputation for having like really loud speakers even on full volume.
jeez. But yeah, that alone, the speaker quality is just like okay. I'll just give it to that. It's just okay. I wouldn't say it's like good or S rank. Definitely not S rank. No. But yeah, so now that that's pretty much just done and out of the way, let's just do the reception. And as you can kind of tell with the fact that this doesn't have a battery backup, which don't worry, I'll be ranting about that. all I did was flip this radio upside down and the antenna moved.
Oh my god. Just like that.
On God, for real, just like that? No. Let's do the reception test on the one channel that we can get in here.
Okay. 500. And do the WX button. It just goes back to 400.
Yeah.
I want to try
Saturday,
5.5.
partly cloudy in the
Oh, bro, what?
KIH-42. I heard Cincinnati on it.
A chance of showers.
But yeah, channel 4 is the one that comes in the best. I kind of started the recording a little bit late. That's my fault, but yeah, honestly,
we can only get 2 channels, and one of them like barely.
yeah, reception is not exactly the best, and it doesn't help that this doesn't have a battery backup, so you can't really take this outside.
I have mine on WXJ76, so I can get the other locals, but it can only get like 3 channels at my room, and I just use the second best reception one in that case, just so I can get alerts from Eastern Illinois. So yeah, that is the reception.
Weather. All hazards. Radio station WXJ46. Miami is bird.
They're doing the funny ID.
Yeah, but yeah, reception on this is like okay. Like given where we're at, we can only really get 1 channel, maybe 2 if we're lucky, but the fact that this has like such a short antenna is just not exactly doing this radio justice. Especially, I mean, granted we're like 5 minutes away, or actually not even 5, like 10-20 minutes away from the actual transmitter site. But even then, it's just like
It's 1,000 watts, so
Yeah.
the signal makes sense.
yeah. But honestly, yeah, this antenna kind of hurts it. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's go over the build quality next, because well, to be honest, I don't know what this frequency is or does, but I don't want to know either. So at 45.44, I don't know what that is, but it was programmed in here apparently.
Yeah.
Actually, let's do the Squelch feature next, because I noticed that's on there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Squelch on this radio. So basically, what this does is, let's say if you happen to be scanning a channel or something, and you don't want it to like pick up any staticky signals or whatever, you can turn the Squelch knob, and it'll basically filter out like all the static, and it'll scan to the next available clear channel.
Waves 1 foot or less. Wednesday night, north winds 5 to 10 knots.
And this has an auto Squelch too as well, but
Waves 1 foot or less. And waves higher and near thunderstorms.
yeah.
The water temperature off Toledo is...
But yeah, that's kind of a useful feature, especially when you're like scanning on the police and fire bands. But this is also it's also useful for weather band stuff too. But it can also be a pain, especially if you're like hooking stuff like this into Index and all that.
Yeah, trying to get the reception to just figuring out if the signal's good or not.
Yeah.
And just figuring, oh, if the channel's like just completely silent, then that's useless.
Pretty much. Alright,
But
so
yeah, the next feature probably last besides, well, scanning, but even then, I don't use this thing as a scanner. The last feature that we can go over is the build quality. Alright, the build quality on the BC148XLT. The plastic is like, it's I don't know how to describe it honestly, but it's not that great, especially for the time. Like, you can really tell that it feels kind of just weak in a sense.
yeah. Like it feels weak. It's really hollow, especially like Like, I honestly would not be surprised if someone like just took a rock at this thing and it just cracked the entire top half of the radio.
Yeah.
Like, that's how hollow it is. Especially, I'm just gonna retract the antenna here. Especially on the back.
It flipped again. The antenna flipped.
Yeah, especially on the back. This just screams hollow plastic. I would not be surprised if someone was able to like fucking break this thing, like just by punching it lightly. Let's test it out. No. But yeah, that's build quality is kind of meh, like low key kind of mid. Actually, it is mid.
Yes.
But yeah, with that pretty much covered, let's get into the final thoughts on this thing already.
Alright, the final thoughts on the Uniden BC148XLT. It was a good scanner for its time, especially the 90s, and it activates really well on 1050 Hertz. It's very responsive to those tones. And the weather band, when you have a lot of local channels for the weather band, it tends to do pretty well in terms of reception. But since we live so close to WXJ46, that doesn't necessarily work out, especially because it's 1000 watts. But yeah, the Siren, actually just the Siren and radio itself is just really funky. like you cannot take that seriously.
You really can't. It just sounds like a freaking cow having sex.
The cow in its climax. But yeah, people call this the cow for a reason. I've always called it the cow since I've got this radio in December of 2020. And the antenna is, I'm having issues with it again.
The antenna is just like jank.
It's jank. Like, I don't like it. So yeah, I have an issue with the antenna because it's super loose, and there should be no reason why it should be this loose. I mean, I understand it's like a 90s police scanner, but why? So yeah, back then it really held up, especially as a scanner for analog frequencies, but nowadays it doesn't necessarily hold up as well.
Yeah, the fact that this doesn't have a battery backup like most modern scanners do also really hurts it.
Yep.
Because like what if the power goes out? Then you can't listen to shit until the power comes back on.
Mm-hmm. And the backlight, like just like mine, it's really fucking easy to kill. Like, if you like manage to plug in the power cord right there, like if you have it in a wrong way and it like disconnects somehow for like a split second, that'll be enough to kill the backlight. So, and then after that, you're gonna have to like get new bulbs in, which I plan to do just to get this thing to have a blue backlight. But yeah, good scanner for its time, especially in the 90s, but nowadays it doesn't necessarily hold up as well. I got this radio specifically for the funky siren sound. Literally, it sounds so weird, but honestly, it doesn't necessarily look good next to any other weather radio considering its massive size. However, it would blend in well next to other Uniden police scanners like the BC365 and BC370. That's where I have it in my little shelf design museum looking radio setup with 22 other radios. I have it right next to the BC365 right here, and then BC370. So yeah, that is basically the review of the BC148XLT, the cow radio. If you want to get it, then go right ahead, especially for the funky siren sound.
Yeah, that's really like the only saving grace of this radio.
Yeah.
Actually, I shouldn't even say radio, more like a scanner, but yeah. Otherwise it's just, no. But
it's kind of jank nowadays, at least.
It's mid.
30 years later, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, anyways, that concludes this episode of Radio Reviews. Like always, be sure to strike them likes, flood the subscribe button, and twist that notification bell. I already said this the past 2 episodes, so I'm not going to say it again. I'm sure you probably get the point. But also be sure to subscribe to Kid LX as well. And even though he wasn't exactly featured in this episode, he's just in the other room. Also be sure to subscribe to Dune Blaze 1996. Also be sure to subscribe to Clay Ranger 143 and Warren OHWXA798. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is Thunderbuddy01 signing out along with
LX.
and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.